Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Sagittarius rising, or if you have significant Sagittarius placements in your chart and are needing a neutral energy to work with or balance within yourself, then this reading is for you. Or if you're just called to this reading for any particular reason, doesn't matter what the sign is, there may be a message in here for you. So before I pulled the cards, I was getting this message that cycles of pain are ending and cycles of love are beginning. So there is a lot of that in the cards coming through. But we'll start with the overall context. So we have Magician, Nine of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, like lots of Wands energy. Sorry, I pulled so many cards because they're all sort of giving more insight into what the story is. I feel like what might be happening is that there's somebody coming in. It feels like there's somebody new that's coming in. They're kind of coming through as this sort of King of Wands energy. They're arriving into your life with a lot of energy. Because there's so much Wands energy, like you may be feeling it in advance. Like it might not be happening right now in your physical, but it's like you're being prepared for it or something like that. And it could be like stirring up a lot of potentially conflict. Like it's kind of like whatever this new King of Wands energy is, it's kind of like they're stirring things up is kind of how it's feeling. In a way that it might be like causing a lot of change in your actual like physical life. It might be causing a lot of change. It's like almost before they get there. Now I'm stumbling over my words. Before this one arrives, it's almost like the wind brings in their energy before they arrive, if that makes sense. And it's actually like the wind that comes in before they arrive, it's causing like all of this change within your actual physical environment, almost to like prepare it, is kind of how it's feeling. Like it's stirring things up or it's like clearing things out. You may be experiencing that, especially because it's kind of like with these two Wands energy, it's like some aspect of your stability is shifting, and it's like there's a desire to defend that or to like hold your ground against whatever that could be. Sorry, just distractions. Okay, so if we get into the first two cards, this is what's in your external environment. So we have the Emperor and the Ace of Cups. So you may be noticing this in terms of because underneath that you have the Six of Cups. Sorry, there's a lot of noise just in the next door kind of energy. Okay, anyways, doesn't matter. Emperor and the Six of Cups. So it came out like this on the table. So this Emperor energy may be a non-romantic soulmate, right? Like family members or like somebody with a very masculine energy. That's just how it's coming through. You may start to see the signs of this change through masculine relationships in your life is how that's coming through. Or people who have been very stable or like represent sort of an energy of structure kind of dynamic, right? Like the Emperor is the father, right? So it could be like father figures or masculine energies. However that plays out, doesn't even have to be like physically male, right? They just represents an aspect of structure. And it's coming through with the Ace of Cups. What's so interesting is that underneath the Ace of Cups is the Three of Swords. So there could be this sort of dynamic where especially with the Three of Swords, that there's a lot of healing happening within these relationships for you. There's like, so if there has been, or if you have been feeling this sort of pain is kind of how this is feeling, right? Like the cycles of pain, those are healing. Those are like sort of closing out. They're coming to an end, and cycles of love are beginning. But I feel like you may be experiencing this through masculine focused dynamics or relationships in your life, where it's like there's a lot of healing happening within these energies that's almost being like, it's like maybe like the cause of that is this sort of new beginning, like somebody who's coming in, or doesn't even have to be a somebody, could just be some sort of new direction or inspiration or energy that you're moving towards, or that's coming towards you. I'm not sure which one. It's kind of both. It's like you're meeting something up ahead that is going to provide a lot of new inspiration, or new energy, a new direction perhaps. And it's like all of this stuff is being cleared and healed first. It's like the cycle of pain perhaps that may have existed in these dynamics are being healed with this sort of unconditional love, Ace of Cups energy. It's really beautiful. It's like a really lovely energy. It could also be like coming through, or like you may be seeing signs of it, of like, especially where people, for instance, feel regret about like past actions, right? So you may be receiving communication about that, like somebody, or even you as well, right? Like because everyone has masculine energy within themselves, where maybe you've felt regret about your past actions that may have caused heartbreak or pain of some sort. It's like all of those cycles of pain are ending in order to start something new, right? Like in order to start this like new cycle of love is kind of how that's feeling. It's really beautiful, Sagittarius. So the next couple of cards to come out, you have these. I want to hold them up in like groups of 4 today, because I feel like it's kind of like trying to maintain stability, like maintain a sense of stability, I want to say, because there's a lot of change. It's kind of like the wind today is very strong, and so it's like I brought out like extra crystals to hold down the cards so they don't blow away. So it might be something like that, where you're holding on to some aspect of stability in order to keep you grounded in whatever this change is, because you have here the 7 of Pentacles and the 5 of Wands. So this 5 of Wands, I don't want to say it's conflict. It doesn't necessarily feel like conflict. It kind of does feel a bit challenging though, because it's a 5 and because there's all this Wands energy. Again, with this sort of like because you have the 4 of Wands in the bottom of the deck, right? 4 of Wands, which is kind of like this stability energy, and it's almost like somebody is bringing one more wand into the dynamic or into your environment in some way. And so because this King of Wands, whoever they are bringing their energy into this space, it's disrupting the harmony a little bit. So it's feeling a bit disruptive, and you may be protecting yourself from that a little bit, like being on guard because of this sort of the disharmony that is caused temporarily, I want to say, by something new coming in, right? And with the 7 of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles, which is underneath that, it's kind of just like something that needs to be worked on or integrated, because this is very long term, right? It's like I feel like whatever this change is part of the long-term stability of, or abundance or something like that, because it's like the 7, which is, to me, talks about like magic and creation. That's what the 7s represent to me. And so it's kind of like there's something new coming in that will assist in this, or like that will add to your long-term abundance and stability, but it does initially take a little bit of work, or like it's kind of like a one step at a time, like taking on one challenge at a time kind of thing, in order to bring more harmony or stability or something like that. Okay. Sorry, the wind is very strong today. Okay, we have the Chariot that came out underneath the Five of Wands. It's kind of feeling, so there is a lot of movement, right? There is a lot of movement, but it's kind of feeling like, especially if there's like if you think about a chariot, it's led by 2 horses or more. So it's kind of like having to get all of the horses to cooperate in order to move forward. That could be the challenge, where it's trying to get all of these the wands energy, all of the sort of perhaps like conflicting opinions or conflicting energies, or however that plays out, in alignment, having to get all of that back into alignment, because it's like there's something new coming in. It's disrupting the harmony temporarily, but once you sort of get all of the horses in a row, like it moves forward very quickly. There's also this energy here. So the last 2 cards to come out, we have the Hermit and the Knight of Cups, which is really lovely. And also I want to hold up this Magician as well, because I feel like it is something that you manifested, right? Or that it's giving you the opportunity to create something that you've wanted to create. But that does take mastery. The Magician is masterful at all of the elements. I feel like this Hermit is talking about, so I was watching a Star Wars show yesterday, where it's like an animated show, where it's talking about like there was an episode where there was like these like young Jedi who were going into this temple in order to get the crystal that powers their lightsaber. So there's something here about but in order to actually find their crystal, right, like the thing that channels their energy, it becomes sort of their tool or an identifier of theirs. Like that's sort of like the leveling up kind of energy here. They had to face some sort of challenge within themselves, or like learn some sort of lesson within themselves about like what it is that they were most afraid of, or some lesson that they had to learn, an area in their life where they were like, perhaps like one of them needed to trust themselves more, one of them needed to like gain courage and face like some sort of monster. But it's like none of it's like really like, it's absolutely a challenge that you can face and conquer with this Five of Wands. It's something like that. It's kind of like the gift or the leveling up only happens if you've successfully gone through this challenge, and that's absolutely the Hermit energy, right? It's knowing yourself. And I'm seeing this as being like the crystal, the lantern, the lightsaber, if you want to call it that. And with the Knight of Cups, because I feel like this is something where it's like, the Knight of Cups to me talks about an action that is driven by love, right? Or by like affection or kindness or whatever you want to call it, right? Like it's a love driven action. And so I feel like because of this, it's kind of like whatever it is that you're gaining or going through right now is giving you the ability to act, because it's like as soon as the Jedi have their lightsaber, it's like they can go help other people. It's kind of that kind of energy that's coming through here. So to summarize Sagittarius, some sort of cycle of pain is ending. There's a new cycle of love that's beginning, or that has already begun, is kind of feeling like, because you do have the 7 and the 10 of Pentacles. It's like you already have stability. It's just kind of like there's one more challenge that's being introduced that may be causing a bit of disharmony, but like as soon as that challenge is worked through, it's a leveling up process. It's like you're going to discover something about yourself, or like be able to take actions in order to help the ones around you, perhaps, or like that's sort of what's happening in your relationships already, is kind of how that's feeling. So Sagittarius, I'm gonna leave it there. If you check the description box below, you'll find my website if you're interested in a personal reading. If this message resonated with you, please consider subscribing, liking, or leaving a comment down below. It helps so much. Thanks so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.